Eyes. Now, eyes are interesting. I had to draw this eye really big so you can see it. So the thing with eyes are, I think poetically they're like the windows to the soul. We're not gonna look at them that deep or deeply. I really just want you to get the shape right. And when you're drawing the eyes, both their eyes are exactly the same, right? So there's these little subtle differences, but I want your eyes to be as exact as possible. You got to get the same eyes, and so in drawing them in two, that's the name of the game. I'm going to show you one because I really don't feel like drawing two, and I really feel like it's best if I show you in charcoal. So I got some pieces of charcoal here. This is going to start our charcoal lesson, I guess. This is vine charcoal. This is compressed charcoal. All right, now vine charcoal is really light, really airy. When you draw a line, you can kind of erase it really easily, whatever. Compressed, you draw a line and it's there to stay. Okay, I don't want to demonstrate like that, but anyway. So you do all your sketches with vine charcoal, and then you go over it. This is a charcoal pencil. It's for details and stuff like that. Of course, I got white charcoal pencils. All values in between can be manipulated by just, you know, bearing down or letting up on the value or smudging it, whatever you want to do. All right, so the eye, one smooth motion, little lemon in the corner. Make sure y'all can see what I can see. Okay, yeah. Lemon in the corner, little bud. That's your little yellow eye duck thing. And come up, slightly down. Now I know I said don't draw it out of modeling. I really should have a model, but at this point it doesn't really. I've drawn eyes long enough to know what to do, but just in case, I'll look at something. Yeah, that eye ain't big enough for me to. Yeah. Okay, so there's always a little eyelid thing here, so you can go ahead and draw that. Right? I had a teacher that always taught me to go ahead and give the bottom edge a double line. You can do that if you like. A little double edge. Okay. Now, your eyeball, you can actually see your eyeball, the edges of your eyeball. So it goes right there and right there in the corner. Okay. And there is pink, but in this case it'll be gray. It's just maybe there. You could add some little gunky stuff in there if you want. Whatever you want to do. Depending on the shape of the eye or the type of eye, let's make sure that comes up like that. Oh, okay, so now we're going to add our iris. Okay. You got to remember too that, you know, this is you can even notice it, the eyeball. Really pay attention to the eye. The eyeball itself protrudes that eyelid, you know, a little bit. So definitely around. You gotta. It's the illusion of stuff being round, even down below. Okay, so that's
why are you ignoring Madison's fashion show?
I didn't know I was invited to a fashion show. I'm sorry. So now we got the eye and everything, and that's what we need to highlight. Now, usually when you take a picture, there's a flash, one flash. But you know, if you ever see magazine pictures, there's like a highlight there to create a highlight, and then there's several highlights. So depending on what kind of eye it is, there's different highlights. And when it's like teary-eyed, when they're crying, that's when it really catches the light and has a lot of highlights. So I'll just put a couple of highlights there, and a lot of distractions today. I put a few highlights there. That's white, and that's going to be white. And then I put the pupil here. Pupil's the only thing that's going to be like solid black. Everything's going to be great. So that's pretty much it with that. Now, the fun part is coloring everything in. So the eye itself is white, of course. It doesn't need to be like, I want you to understand that white, I'm not talking about white. And of course, you have to practice this with your pencil. So we're going to talk about the differences between doing it with your pencil, doing it to charcoal. But basically, I want you to just follow these steps with the shape. And I'm going to show you what we do with the charcoal and the shading. So imagine that our paper is white, essentially. So this is just the additive process here. So I'm just adding white to certain areas. In the case of the pencil, you would add, Now, like I said, the eye is a ball. So in a sense, we're going to start with our compressed charcoal now. We have to add value to the eye. So the lid creates a bit of a shadow underneath it. So we're going to do a little darkness underneath it. Let the viewer know that there's a lid there. Rid of that powder there. And around here on the side. Just a little bit. Okay. And you do this with your pencil. And you shade it ever lightly. You can smudge it with your finger if you want. Now, I have this trick I do with the eye. I just want to show a value change, right? So first I'm going to color my pupil in black. It's always going to be solid black. Now, the mistake that all students make, not all, but most, is that you all don't really appreciate the change in value that needs to take place when you're drawing or coloring anything. So what I typically do, this is just my pattern, I start off dark at the top and gradually get lighter as I go around. It's a good habit to have. Basically tells the viewer, like, okay, something's going on. It's, that eye has some kind of value that's different from black. Of course, you can do this with your pencil, no problem. And it separates the iris from the pupil as well. And so many people say, yeah, your eyes are black. Nobody's eyes are black. It's kind of weird. They appear black, they're really just dark brown. Okay, so kind of blend that in a little bit. Remember what I was telling you about those gray values? See that? Gray value there. Nice red black. Same over here. I'm going to just gray some of this stuff out. And go in now with our black pencil, add the value, some of our details in, like the lip of the eye. Double line down here. Nice fluid movement. Just kind of jagged out now. There it is. There's always this little thing here. I like to define your lines now, because that vine charcoal will get lost in the stuff. Define our lines here. Eyelashes. Eyelashes are tricky. You start off thick and then they kind of tangle out. So eyelashes always go in a curved direction away from the center of the eye. So take your pencil, press down hard, and as you come up, let up. They do this cool thing when they're wet, how they stick together, but I'm not worried about that now. All right. You're pretty much done. That's good enough, all right. You know, now the thing about the eye is, I'm gonna go ahead and show you this before. The eye sinks in here, because you know there's a hole in your skull right here. So really, it's nothing but darkness here. It slightly protrudes outward. Remember the ball of the eye is kind of like that. Comes back down. There's a few lines that represent it.
Igual vamos por favor, hombre. Hasta acá.
Alright. And then it protrudes outward where the nose is. So, make sure you just get that value right. I'm actually using a model. You want some whites, so there's always a highlight up there. Add your white in. Just however you really want to do it. It's up to you. White in there too. There's actually a little white on the edge of the eye there. But that's it. That's the eye. Oh, I'm making a movie.